He honey wash day Midgard. My name is Michelle from Thor Wants Another Letter. Welcome to the second episode of Trusting Booktubers Rainbow Edition. If you haven't seen episode 1, I definitely recommend watching it. I'm going to link it down in the description below. And so this all started because I wanted to read more queer literature in 2020. So what I've decided is to kind of make a series out of it. And so I've taken different booktubers that I found very interesting. I love their content, how they perceive books and how they review books, and I have scrolled through their LGBTQIAP books that they've read throughout the years and taken some of the ones that they rated highly, like 5 stars, and or listed it in a favorite video of theirs, and I've made like a very long list, so this is not going to run out, trust me. These booktubers will probably be listed more than once in this series. However, due to like financials, there's not going to be an episode every month, maybe like every other month. However, I'm gonna try to do my best. I just wanted to put out a quick disclaimer. Video series is purely meant for diversity in LGBTQI books, not limited to people of color, sexual orientation, so nothing like straight, cis, heterosexual relationships, nothing like that. And of course, the exploration of chronic illnesses. If you have any suggestions for booktubers, I would love to get some of your people down below. I know some people have suggested sage reads to me, my friend Brody. So if you have any other people that you would love to see featured in these videos that have read LGBTQIA books, let me know. So in this episode, I will be reading 3 books to my liking. Hopefully, I have an update. And each of those books, of course, is the favorite of the 3 people that I am featuring in this video. So let's get started with our first character, and that is Luna. So I'm just gonna give you a small synopsis of who Luna is, and hopefully you'll be able to figure out who they are. Half a decade spent on this platform, my reputation is stellar, and my love of queer books has been heard far and wide. My fashion is iconic, rainbows all around my closet. My shelves are gorgeous, decorated to rainbow perfection, including a piece forged by friendship. Only the Thestrals can see me. Now, I know that might be confusing, but some of the clues are very subtle, so hopefully if you've been watching booktube for a while and you know your fair share of booktubers, I think you'll be able to figure this one out. Next is Remy. My timing is perfect and smooth. As long as I have a good book and suavecito, I can conquer anything. The world is brighter through my eyes, the Daleks can't get me, and I'm faster than Naruto. If you're paying attention in some of the videos that you've seen from these people, you will definitely figure this out. If you have some recommendations from some people, let me know down in the comments below, and I would love to hear your opinions on that. But also, I would love to see your guesses for who Remy, Luna, and Daisy are. Alright folks, we have an update. I know it's been literally 2 seconds since my last clip. However, I tried reading one of Luna's favorites and we have a casualty. And that is 2 boys kissing. I tried reading this and I got about halfway through and I don't understand what the hell is going on. It is told in a... it'd be better if it were like a movie script, because it feels very much like a screenplay to me in the way that it kind of reminds me of like a queer Valentine's Day movie, you know, like the queer New Year's Eve movie, where you have all of these different perspectives and POVs and they're all coming together, and then, you know, you don't see where they match up until like the very end. So I lied. How do I say this? I finished two boys kissing. It's confusing, for sure, for me. It was confusing, but as I got more into it and got more into the meat of the story, I really kind of figured out some of the characters, and also I had to do some writing to figure out exactly how all the pieces fit together. But I thought this was extremely excellent, and I'm rating it a 4-star. It was a 3-star. It was like a 2, but now it's a 3. So now I have to like change my whole shit. So once you get past like the first 120 pages and you're in like the 130 mark, that's when it really just takes off from there. It was absolutely brilliant. And I love the narration from the generational gaze looking back or looking forward, or like back or forward. I think that it would be cool if we had some some generational jumps, I think, because it does mention the AIDS epidemic and like the beginning of the internet and how that all started. But also there were certain things that were said, like we didn't get a chance to see ourselves, we did this, and like all of this stuff that happened during the AIDS epidemic, like hospitalization, having to see your friends die, things like that. It just what felt so real, and I really wish that there were more books highlighting this time in history, not because it's like, okay, we don't want to see gay trauma porn, but also just because there is a certain beauty in people when their lives are being cut short. We see people being more loving. We see people really taking the time to appreciate their life for what it is and for the things that happen. And I just really enjoyed these characters after I finally got into it. It took me a while, but I loved this, and I'm rating it 4 stars, and I'm changing my whole thing. And I recommend it. I highly recommend it if you're it's like I said, it's confusing to get into, but you really have to stick with it, which I didn't want to, but then I kind of like read a little bit more because I was like, well, if I'm just gonna give it a chance. This was magnificent, and I can definitely see where Luna likes it and the things that they are taking away from it, and I'm taking away with, this is what I want for this book. I want this book to be something that you watch at 3 a.m. on a Saturday night on Netflix, and it's, in that LGBTQ queer, one of those ones that you haven't really heard of, and maybe it's like, obviously you have to have New York and Portland and all of these different places, but also it has to have like this brilliant, I feel like it needs, in order to really do it justice, you have to have, when you have your high highs and your low lows, so lots of like sunlight when there's like, even when there's bad times, there's like sunlight coursing through windows, rain, and of course like this dark blue filmography that is just and then of course during all of this you take lines from the book, and a pillar of the queer community, like in the acting community, is narrating through this. Like personally I would suggest like Laverne Cox, or I don't know, this just very had a very like a child of like a child of Henry Milk wrote this book, and that is just the feeling that you get, is that you see the sunlight and then you have your darkness, and I loved it. I didn't think that I was going to stick with it, but I really loved this book. I really wish this was a movie. I've never seen any of David Levithan's like books turned into movies or anything, but now I think I might give that a shot just to see if I like it, if I enjoy it. But I feel like this needs to be one of those indie films that's like shown at Sundance and has like a bunch of awards, and you see like these up and coming teenagers acting in these roles, and I just loved it. Okay. But definitely trigger for homophobia, like hate crimes, hate crime intentions, gay slurs, family dynamic issues like parental abuse, uh, depression, and there is an attempted suicide. And there is also some talk of the AIDS epidemic. So I recommend this book. I was like, this is just confusing. I'm not really into this. But once you get into the meat of the story, it just, this needs to be a movie, okay? It needs to be a movie, hands down. So we're going to count this as a win. I'm not going to read that. We're going to save that other book for another episode. How about that? And then our next book will be a book recommended by Daisy. And that is Hurricane Child by Karen Callender. And this is, it's from Scholastic. I'm trying to figure out. Oh, it doesn't give you. Does it give you page number? Yeah, there's like about 200 pages in this. So, yeah. We're not gonna read that right now. I'm gonna do some bullet journaling and then maybe watch some Bones or something. But yeah, this was great. I loved it. It's great. My heart. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, so right now I'm reading Our Bloody Pearl, and this is one of Remy's suggestions, and I'm like 8% in. I'm kind of confused. I was reading what was happening, and then I don't know, I'm just kind of like not sure who this person is, but I'm gonna keep going with it because, you know, it deserves a fair shot. As I'm gonna at least get like 30% into it, and if I don't like it, I'm gonna switch to another one of their suggestions, so that way, you know, I'm not like, oh, I didn't like this because of this or whatever. I haven't read anything of Hurricane Child yet. So this current video has pretty much gone to a grinding halt. I'm experiencing a personal loss, and I was reading Our Bloody Pearl when I received the call, and that's when it all started. So I'm just gonna give the book a 4-star rating. I mean, there were things about it that I did really like. However, I just can't find it in my heart to finish it. And but like I said, there were things that I liked. I loved the non-binary representation. I loved the way that sexuality is discussed, the way that pregnancy doesn't mean, you know, that you're a woman or whatever, that it's on a, the way that the siren, I think it is, the way the siren changes, that it's need-based more so. And Dijon is really awesome. Muriel and Simone, great characters. Other than that, the writing is really done very well. There's a lot of descriptive detail that I really appreciate. And so, yeah, I'm just going to rate it a 4-star. And then, I don't know, I might change my, I think I'm going to change the book that I'm going to read for Daisy, whenever that is. So, yeah, so it's not going to be Hurricane Child anymore. I don't know what it's going to be, so. Hi, you'll notice my mention of the third booktuber, Daisy. I've currently decided not to feature them at this time. I will probably feature them in a future video, just not right now. And I have to confess, I'm not up to reading anything right now. I'm really not sure when Daisy's going to be featured in a different episode.
I hope you can understand, and I appreciate everyone who has reached out during this difficult time in my life, and I'm just grateful for the friends that I have.